Okay, we are on episode show number 68. I think Zane Beadle's award number 68. He was not the most impressive free agent. We'll try to find some other 68s for you today. But we appreciate you guys being here. You remember Zane Beadles? Did he play college ball at Utah? I think played for the Jags. Big money free agent by former general manager Dave Codwell. Zane Beadles, the excitement. I met Zane Beadles, and I forget the name of the defensive back, but I met him at a Jaguars event. Nice guy. He signed autographs for the fans. And I guess the best thing to say about Zane Beadles is he was a player, played well at times, but was probably one of the disappointing free agents as far as much money as he got several years ago. We did promise to take a look at the Jags stats. Jaguars winning, and they did win 10-6. What can you say about a 10-6 game? Finally, a touchdown late in the fourth quarter. Jaguars put the Titans away. There was a field goal earlier in the game that got the game. Well, the Jaguars were trailing 6-0. They kicked the field goal, cut the lead in half. It was Cam Little, who's had a good year as a rookie kicker. I think he's locked in with the Jaguars. He'll move into year 2 next year, and he's on a rookie deal. You guys tuning in. I do have the stats. I wanted to take a look at these stats. We have some wide receiver stats in the NFL from young guys, and I think these are wide receivers, and Brian Thomas Jr. is right up there near the top. Jaguars win 10-6 in their Sunday game. And let's see, going back to Sunday. Well, Sunday was December the 8th. It's already Thursday now. It's already Thursday, December the 12th. Okay. Our sponsors are on the ticker, Saucer Realty and Capital, the madmaxmix.weebly.com. Max is a great show, and I get on Max's show at least once or twice a month. Most of the time, at least twice a month, or more or less. Max, you got a great show. I know your shows are getting very, very busy. Check out the madmaxmix.weebly.com. Each Wednesday night, 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock Central Time, 7 o'clock till 9 o'clock Eastern Time. JC has a great show on Thursday nights. Our sponsors are on the ticker. The Teal Shirt Report podcast is brought to you by Saucer Realty and Capital, the madmaxmix.weebly.com. And, of course, Mad Max's Wednesday night request show. And also by Lake Eufaula Hits, LakeEufaulaHits.com, great internet radio, and the home for JC's Thursday night live from the pub show on Thursday nights, getting underway at 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock Central Time is when it gets underway, 7 o'clock Eastern Time. And those sponsors mentioned on our ticker and the YouTube version, as you know, we do have the audio platform versions too of the Teal Shirt Report podcast. Back to the stats. I wanted to check these stats. Mac Jones played the whole game. Trevor is gone for the year in the concussion protocol. At some point in time, he's going to have, I think, surgery on the left shoulder, I believe, is what I'd heard a few days ago. Jacksonville, Florida, 6:50 in the morning, about 35 degrees on December the 12th. Low temperature, 35. High today will get up to maybe 58. 58 should be the high approximately. 58 in Lake City. Going to get up to 58 around Fernandina Beach, Florida. And again, 35 degrees has been our low this morning on Thursday morning, December the 12th. Checking stats. Mac Jones, well, what can you say? Here's the thing with Mac Jones. He hasn't been a backup quarterback that's been able to come in right away. and light it up. He had a couple of bad games. He had a good half of football. This was not a great game. Mac Jones, the best thing you can say about him, he did engineer the winning touchdown. He did not have a bad game throwing the football as far as completing passes. He did complete a couple of passes to the other team. You can't really knock the offensive line in this one. Mac was sacked one time. Mac Jones was 23 of 31, 220 yards passing. His average pass 7.1 yards, but 0 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He got sacked once. The QBR was 32.9. Quarterback rating, a lot of sixes there, 66.6. Not a great game for Mac, and I think for his career and for the Jaguars, man, I think these last 4 games are critical. He's getting a chance to play, and he'll continue to play unless he goes out with an injury. C.J. Beathard is the backup for the Jags now. They signed him when Trevor first got hurt a few weeks back. Man, I hear the train. I hear the train this morning at 6:52 a.m. on Thursday morning, December the 12th. Now, Tank Bigsby, not the greatest game, 3.1 yards a carry, 18 carries, 55 yards, but he got the touchdown run. It looked like on the monitor it was about an 8 or 9 yard touchdown run. Might have been a yard or so longer, but about 8 or 9 yards on the touchdown run for Tank Bigsby. 18 carries in the game, 55 yards. Trevor Etienne touched the football 4 times, rushing it for 20 yards at 5.0 per average carry. And I'm thinking, why isn't Travis Etienne running the ball more? Tank is getting the load of the calls. Receiving yards, Jags have one of the top 2 or 3 wide receivers for rookies in the NFL. Brian Thomas Jr., 8 catches, 86 yards. Closest receiver to him was Travis Etienne, 4 catches, 50 yards. Evan Ingram, 4 catches, 33 yards. Britton Strange, a catch for 21. Parker Washington, 2 catches for 15 yards. Duvernay, 2 catches for 8 yards. Tank Bigsby did have had 1 catch for 7 yards out of the backfield. I want to go straight to, I don't want to talk about the mayonnaise boy too much because his numbers weren't that great either. Will Levis with Tennessee. I mean, they only put up 6 points on the Jags defense. So let's go right to the Jaguars defensive stats. Linebacker Boysaid Alakun at 11 total tackles, 6 solo tackles. He was the leading Jags tackler. Devin Lloyd showing up in this one with 8 total tackles, 1 solo tackle. And what about safety Antonio Johnson? Second-year Jaguars player. This guy was a 5th-round steal. 5 tackles, 5 solo tackles in this game. And Monteric Brown, I'm starting to really like this guy, known as Buster Brown. 5 total tackles, 4 solo tackles. Those are your top 4 tacklers in the game. Boysaid Alakun, linebacker, also linebacker Devin Lloyd, safety Antonio Johnson with 5 total tackles, 5 solo tackles. Monteric Brown, 5 total tackles, 4 solo tackles. The leading tacklers are not across the defensive line. However, Devon Hamilton, you go down a little bit further, and Jerrion Jones, number 22, the 3rd-round cornerback out of Florida State, a rookie, had 5 tackles, 2 solo tackles. Then we finally run up on Devon Hamilton, 5 total tackles, 2 solo tackles. I'm looking for Trayvon Walker. There he is, 4 total tackles, 3 solo tackles, 0 sacks in the game. He got a sack in the last game, but no sacks in this game. Josh Hines Allen, 2 tackles, 2 solo tackles, 1 sack, 2 tackles for loss. And that's all the defensive stats at this point. That's all the defensive stats I really need to see. We did promise that we were going to go. I need to shave. I've been a couple of days without shaving here, but I do that sometimes. My wife knows that. She likes it when I shave, though. Currently clear, some frost, some patchy frost and cold. It's 35 degrees in Jacksonville, Florida at 6:10 a.m. on Thursday morning, December the 12th of 2024. High today will get up to near 58. Rookie wide receivers. Ball cards, so I've got to scroll a little bit further down now. He posted multiple football cards. Abram, thank you for listening to the podcast. Bill Belichick finalizing the deal to become the North Carolina Tar Heels' next head football coach. Man, better him than us. And maybe he'll be a good college football coach, but the Jags need to hire a GM who's a top 10 current GM in the league. I'm seeing these posts on Facebook about, well, we need to hire the assistant GM of the Detroit Lions and, get B. Johnson as a head coach. And maybe Mark Brunell will follow B. Johnson because I think Mark Brunell really likes B. Johnson. Former Jaguars quarterback. If you didn't know it, he's the quarterback coach for the highly successful Detroit Lions, who are 12-1 this year in the NFL. There's also a Mac Jones press conference, which was added to our Big J Report Facebook group. Breaking news, Florida Edge Jack Pyburn plans to enter the transfer portal. He's looking for more money. That's a story I heard. NFL Monday Night Football. Did you miss the NFL Monday night game? Bengals 27, Cowboys 20. That one surprised me. I thought the Cowboys would put up a better fight at home, but they lose by 7. I think the Bengals were like a 5.5 point favorite. They covered the spread on the road. That was in Dallas, I believe. Okay, rookie wide receivers. We want to talk about rookie wide receivers. Brock Bowers, who's actually a tight end, plays for the Raiders. He's been a very good outlet receiver for whoever the Raiders quarterback happens to be. Gardner Minshew. I think they've had a couple other guys play quarterback too. But the top two, well, let's talk about the top 4. Brock Bowers, 933 yards pass receiving yards. Brian Thomas Jr. with the Jaguars, he's going to get 1,000 yards receiving this year as a rookie. He's at 851 yards right now with 4 games to go. Malik Neighbors from the same LSU team is third with 819 yards receiving with really a poor New York Giants team. And the Jaguars team isn't any good this year either. Let's see, we said Malik Neighbors, 819 yards, third in the league in receiving. I saw him on a video several weeks ago making it rain. I think he was down at the club or something. Malik Neighbors, 819 yards, third in rookie receivers. Ladd McConkey, I've got him on my Yahoo fantasy team. The sad thing for me is the last second, Ladd McConkey out of Georgia did not play. And they should have played a Dunze, and I would have won that fantasy game, but I didn't. Ladd McConkey at the last minute. He was questionable. I was warned. He still has had a great year with the LA Chargers. Fourth in rookies. We're going to have to go 5 here in a minute. Fourth in rookie receiving, Ladd McConkey at 815 yards. Marvin Harrison Jr., who was actually thought of as being the top rookie wide receiver. He's at number 5. Marvin Harrison Jr., 655 yards receiving. I think Brian Thomas Jr. was a good pick for the Jags. When he was picked, I said, that's a great pick. I was a little nervous about the Jags being able to get him after they traded back about 5 slots, I believe, and still got Brian Thomas Jr. at number 23 overall. So Marvin Harrison Jr. is 5th in rookie wide receivers, and we'll mention Romeo Odunze, 6th in rookie wide receivers at 585 yards. And that's as far as I'm going to go. That's a top 6 rookie wide receivers as far as receiving yards through week 14. I want to thank Barry Johnson, one of our top contributors at the Big J Report Facebook group. posted this, said wide receiver Brian Thomas Jr. with a football next to it, a little Jaguar, and he's at number 2. What about Brock Bowers, a tight end, and he's a leading rookie receiver as a tight end? My wife said they had milkfish. Man, I love milkfish. I never knew a milkfish till I went to the Philippines. They're having milkfish today. And I think the fish, she actually made it into a milkfish soup. So I know that was delicious. I appreciate you guys tuning in to the Teal Shirt Report podcast, episode show number 68. College football playoffs, 12 teams are set. You may just want to go back to the next podcast because I think I'm running out of time today. Again, we're brought to you by Salsa Realty and Capital. For your real estate needs in North Florida, Salsa Realty and Capital. Also, we're brought to you by the MadMaxMix.weebly.com. Mad Max is Wednesday night. I'm sorry. Max is on Wednesday night. Let me get that straight. Because everybody loves listening to Mad Max on Wednesday nights at the MadMaxMix.weebly.com. JC's show is on Thursday nights. That's right, JC, live from the pub Thursday nights at LakeUfallahits.com. Great internet radio where it's all good. There's links to all of these shows at BigJReport.com. You'll find high school football scores up there on the homepage. We gave you some Jaguars stats of the Jaguars' 10-6 win over the Tennessee Titans. Should I dare do North Florida entertainment? Let's do that. Got a little bit of time here. College football playoff is set 12 teams. The SEC champion Georgia Bulldogs get a bye in the first round, winning the championship game over Texas. Boy, that was a great game. 22-19. Georgia won it in overtime. Let's take a look at some concerts. I got a lot of concerts that we're going to be adding to the Neighbors 2 section at BigJReport.com. But let's just touch on a couple of shows that are coming up. Also, you can find our podcast, the YouTube version, on BigJReport.com. Also, the audio version from the audio platforms is on our website as well at BigJReport.com. High school football scores are up there. And let me see here. We got some shows coming up. We've got to really update the concerts here really quickly. The Foreigner show. Okay. Foreigner. The group Foreigner they will perform at the St. Augustine Amphitheater on Sunday, March 16th of 2025 at 7 o'clock p.m. Reportedly, tickets for Foreigner selling very well for this one. That one might be sold out by now for Foreigner in North Florida. The Foreigner show will be at the St. Augustine Amphitheater on Sunday, March 16th of 2025 at 7 o'clock p.m. Reportedly, tickets for Foreigner selling very well for this one, maybe close to a sellout for Foreigner here in Northeast Florida. In another show in North Florida, the group Chicago will play at the St. Augustine, Florida Amphitheater on Sunday, April the 13th of 2025 at 7:30 p.m. Have no worries. We will update North Florida entertainment again real soon. Jacksonville Icemen playing great hockey at the VyStar Veterans Memorial Arena here in Jacksonville. They've had some wins of late. We'll take a quick look at the standings. Jacksonville Icemen, 21 games into the season. They got 12 wins, 7 losses, 2 overtime losses. So an impressive. And most everybody in the Southern Division playing very, very well, except the Savannah Ghost Pirates at the bottom of the league, 11-9-1. South Carolina Stingrays are hot, 16-5-1. Florida Everblades are 16-5-1. Let me make sure I set it up by division. South Carolina Stingrays 16-5-1. Florida Everblades 16-5-1. Jacksonville Icemen in third place at 12-7-2. Orlando Solar Bears are 11-2. Those are the top 4 teams out of the 7 teams from the Southern Division of the East Coast Hockey League. Again, the Jacksonville Icemen 12 wins, 7 losses, and 2 overtime losses. The Jacksonville Icemen having a good year in 2024-25 at 12-7-2. So we give you a little bit of North Florida entertainment. We're about 20 minutes in on the podcast. Maybe quickly we'll go to the playoffs of college. If I pull those up, we will do it. We've given you some news. NFL Monday Night Football back on December the 9th. The Bengals 27, the Dallas Cowboys 20, a final on December the 9th of 2024. Cold weather, still at 35 degrees. The guy that killed the Luigi was found. He was the murderer. Well, he's the alleged guy that committed the murder. A lot of evidence in that United Healthcare CEO murder that everybody's been talking about. What do you think about that? We don't talk much about a lot of national world news, but occasionally. You got any comments up there? Good picture of Elvis Presley on our Big J Report Facebook group. Harmon Wiz, his old football card. A lot of people talking about who might be the next Jaguars coach if Doug Peterson most likely gets fired. So I told somebody the other day, well, one of 3 things is going to happen. Shad Khan will fire Balky, or Balky will fire Peterson, or no one will get fired. If no one gets fired, that will be the shock of the century. Florida Gators and Coach Billy Napier, they got players visiting in the transfer portal, from the transfer portal. Florida is doing well in recruiting. I mentioned a player they lost a little bit earlier, though, but you're going to lose a few and gain a few. And Florida's got to really capitalize on this kind of hot streak toward the end of the year. Now they've found their quarterback. Keep him healthy, and the Gators can go a long way in the future in 25 with quarterback DJ Lagway. 12-team field college football playoff. Clemson will play Texas. Let's see, that game's a home game in Austin, Texas. Okay, Clemson will play at Texas in Austin, Texas, first round of the college football playoffs. Winner, State. Tennessee plays Ohio State in Columbus, Ohio. The winner will play the Big Champion. SMU will play Penn State at Penn State at State College, Pennsylvania, at State College. The SMU Penn State winner will play Boise State. They will play Boise State. Boise State got a bye. They did. Okay. SMU Penn State will play. The winner of the SMU at Penn State game will play Boise State. So you see there's games being played at the home field. Teams do have a home field advantage. SMU at Penn State. The winner will play Boise State. Indiana at Notre Dame at South Bend. That's 2 schools from right there in the state of Indiana. The winner of Indiana at Notre Dame will play Georgia in the quarterfinals, or the second round, if you will. So there you go. Football 12-team playoff rundown here on the amazing Teal Shirt Report podcast. The internet's been fading in and out a little bit. I just can't get over the fact Larry Munson, he passed away, 12, 13 years ago or more. Can you imagine Larry Munson in the SEC championship game? We just got tied up by Texas, a kicker named Auburn. I would love to hear Larry Munson's call, man. I miss Larry Munson. When I was a kid, I used to listen to the Florida Gator games because most of the games back in the day were just on the radio. There was a game of the week on ABC. ABC would have a doubleheader, maybe 2 or 3 weekends out of the year at the most. I got to save all this info for the book, though. And we're working on the book. we are working on the book. We're 24 minutes in on the podcast. Thanks to our sponsors. Again, the Teal Shirt Report podcast is brought to you by Saucer Realty and Capital, the MadMaxMix.weebly.com. Mad Max has a great Wednesday night internet radio request show, and also by Lakey Fall of Hits and JC's Thursday night show live from the pub. JC's got a great show. It's Thursday, December the 12th. JC, I'm going to be tuning in tonight. Mad Max, I catch you each and every Wednesday night. I sometimes miss the interview. Sometimes Max is too busy to do the interview. Man, he's like the Johnny Carson of internet music radio. Mad Max at the madmaxmix.weebly.com. High school football. Well, I love high school football. My Ed White Commanders made it to the second round of the playoffs. They beat Pine Forest, and then Ed White got knocked out of the playoffs by St. Augustine. Should we hit any of the high school football playoffs? I know we got them up on the website around week 4, if you will. Let's take a look at just some of the scores. High school football scores for North Florida, South Georgia, and surrounding areas. High school football, I call it the fourth round of the fourth week. The hot and good teams left in North Florida, South Georgia, and surrounding areas. If you're looking for scores now, go to our website at bigjreport.com and scroll the homepage. On the high school football scoreboard, Booker played Jacksonville. Raines is still undefeated. Raines might be the most unheralded story of the high school football season. I don't believe they've lost a game all year. Jacksonville Raines 28, Booker 23 a final. Raines is still playing after a month of playoff games. They're still playing. Trinity Christian Academy from right here in Jacksonville got knocked off by Chaminade Madonna. They're from the South Florida area. Chaminade Madonna 35. Trinity Christian Academy 6 a final. St. Augustine got knocked out. St. Augustine knocked out Ed White a couple of weeks ago, and now they've been knocked out by American Heritage. American Heritage 38, St. Augustine 22 a final. Madison County, Florida 21, Hawthorne 14 a final. Back on a Friday night, December the 6th of 2024. A couple of scores out of Georgia, Northeast 46. Fitzgerald, Georgia, I believe they call Fitzgerald the Purple Hurricanes. I've been to a game up there when I did play-by-play for Randolph Clay. Fitzgerald, I believe they're purple, called the Purple Hurricanes, but Northeast knocked them out of the playoffs. Northeast 46, the Fitzgerald, Georgia Purple Hurricanes 14. So Northeast 46, Fitzgerald 14. Langston Hughes 49, Coffee in Georgia 26. Langston Hughes 49, Coffee 26 a final. That was a high school football playoff game up in the state of Georgia. Do they call them Bowdoin? I think they call them Bowdoin. Bowdoin 42, Irwin County, Georgia 28. That was Bowdoin 42, Irwin County, Georgia 28. A final on Friday night, December the 6th of 2024. Those are just a few, some of the high school football results from week 4 of the high school football playoffs across North Florida, South Georgia, and surrounding areas. If we missed any scores, and I know we did, if we missed any scores, let us know. You can add a score by emailing your score or even question. You can email us at scott@bigjreport.com. Scott@bigjreport.com. And if you go to our website, you're going to see the week or round, the fourth round high school football state playoffs. Then we've also got some scores from the earlier week, about a week earlier, round 3 and so on. And I'm going to go back over the scores. We'll probably post some more scores from round 4 that we don't have up there already. But that's some of the high school football playoffs from round 4. Playoffs. My dad celebrated a heavenly birthday. My dad passed away about 4 years ago, Mr. Sonny. And Dad's birthday was yesterday on December the 11th. That was a tough day, man. I cried a few tears off and on and missed my dad a whole lot. And there's a lot of dad in me when I do these podcasts on the Teal Shirt Report podcast. JC says, our executive producer says, we really need to keep these under 30 minutes. Man, we're close. We're still under 30, JC. We've been eloquently produced by our executive producer. Again, we've been eloquently produced by executive producer JC, also by Alex Nunnery. Special thanks to our contributor and correspondent, John Gaylor. John, thank you for everything. That's going to do it for the Teal Shirt Report podcast. episode show number 68. We tried to pack a lot into it, I think. Hey, you guys have a great day. Thank you for watching. And hey, thank you for listening in to the Teal Shirt Report podcast. I'm your host, Scott, right at 30 minutes now.